Great San Francisco Fire. Today is the 5th anniversary of the San Francisco Fire. The earthquake started on Wednesday, April 18, 1906. It started at 5:13 a.m. and lasted less than 1 minute. I counted. I was sitting in bed awake. I was only supposed to wake up at 6 for school, but I woke early because we had to prepare for guests coming from Colorado. 13 minutes later, I shook like crazy. My sister, lying in the bed next to me, woke up immediately. I tried to get up and walk over to her, but I fell down instantly. She was yelling something to me, but I couldn't hear her because of all the things shaking and falling. I guessed that nobody knew that this earthquake was coming, and later I found out that I was right. And then, as crazily as it came, it stopped. Our room was wrecked. Then, without telling my sister, Kelsi, I left the room. Our house was wrecked, our things were wrecked, and everything else was wrecked. I ran out of my house to find that the street was like a river. It turned out that the water main that was under our road was broken. I ran across the street to more of the houses. More than half of them had fallen over. It was a horror scene. People were screaming and running. Even worse than all the noise, people were trapped under buildings. Some you could tell were crushed and others badly injured. Neighbors were grabbing anything and everything to get the people out from under the buildings. Then, to everyone's horror, we noticed that the gas from the broken gas pipes and the sparks from the electrical wires that had fallen didn't mix well. My sister ran out of the house, came to my side, and collapsed. Something I noticed is that our fire alarms weren't buzzing. Kelsi must have realized too, because all of a sudden she stood up and started running. I followed her. We were heading in the downtown direction. I asked her what we were doing, and Kelsi said she was going to warn the other people about the fire, which was probably now blazing. The people already knew, though. There was a fire blazing there, too. Kelsi and I ran back to our neighborhood. Our parents were worried sick. We told them that there were fires burning everywhere. Those people that were standing in the street had gone back inside because of the now humongous fire. My mother told me to go back inside to get my trunk, pack up my most prized possessions, and come back downstairs. So I did just as she had said. Kelsi did the same. We went upstairs, packed up, and wrapped scarves around our mouths and noses. Kelsi and I went back downstairs. Our mother told us to wait. She went back into her room. Kelsi and I were both on the verge of tears. What would we do if something happened to one of us? What if we lost our parents? We both started bawling at the same time. But then Kelsi said something. It sounded something like this. "I think we're going to die. Just be happy." I think she really said, "I don't think we're going to die, though." Our mother came out of her room. We weren't really crying anymore. I found Kelsi's words encouraging. We all walked out of the house together. My father was already waiting outside. All there was outside was a terrible smell of smoke. The firefighters were yelling out to people, "Stay clear, stay clear. Most of the water mains are broken, so these fires will take a while to put out. We're even using sewer water. We're trying to use dynamite to make a fire break. If anybody can help us try to conquer these fires, that's wonderful. Our firefighters are actually collapsing from the heat." But it didn't matter what they were saying. People were running around and warning others that the world was ending. Some of the people that took this seriously were the people that had nothing. At one point, they probably had something, but those things were most likely stolen. More and more people were trying to leave as the afternoon wore on. The army troops were coming through, though, and with their carriages and the rubble, it was almost impossible to leave. I was guessing that they were trying to put out the fires, too. People were being told that if they were looting, they'd be shot right on the spot. The army men were also going into bars, then coming back out carrying bottles. They were filled with liquor. Then all of a sudden, they were taking off lids. For a split second, I thought they were about to start drinking. Then I mentally slapped myself and I changed my theory. I now thought that they were going to do something noble, brave, or both. It turns out it was just noble. They poured out all of the liquor. Then one of the men turned around, looked at me, and started yelling something like this. "If you have a carriage, go to the Southern Pacific Railway Depot for needed supplies." We all turned around to look at our carriage, but it didn't look like a carriage anymore. The earthquake had ruined it. I started to feel funny. I fell down and got a horrible